Sorry about it. I just realized I was muted. Okay, anybody who's gotten in here, I like to go through a full checklist before I get started. Let's see if... Okay, RBS. Okay, so the flight plan seems to have loaded itself. It's 328 correct. All right, and we're in the part of the plane. We're in the part of the process where everything's laggy. Okay. But yes, that looks close enough to correct. Okay, switch this to GPS. Altimeter is set local QNA. It's set to standard, which is what I have the weather set to. Transponder, we're going to do VFR standby. I mean, if anybody wants to know what any of this stuff does, please feel free to ask. I sort of know my way around an airplane.
Engaging autopilot.
Okay. Autopilot check. Okay, pre-select flight mode. We're going to do 25. Is 2500 safe for here? Yeah, we're going to do 2500. Okay. Pre-select navigation, autopilot, pre-select climb. All right. Zoom this in a little bit. There we go. Flight control check. Wait for the sim to catch up. Pitch full up, pitch full down, neutral, roll left, roll right, neutral, yaw right, yaw left. Okay. Flight control's good. Elevator trim set for takeoff. Right about there, I think. Nav lights on. Landing lights will leave off for now. Alright. Parking brake. Release. Now I think... Okay, so I need to go to the other end of the runway. So while I'm doing that, let's talk about what we're doing today. Last time and I just missed crashing into that plane. That would have been a bit of a lawsuit. So last time we followed the first roughly sixth of Route 66 from Chicago, Illinois through St. Louis, Missouri, and we landed at St. Clair Regional Airport, a bit west of St. Louis, Missouri. That's where we're going to be picking up today. Today's flight plan is going to be from St. Clair Regional, as I said, and fussing with the EFB always makes everything go to shit, which I, just love that. But yeah, so we're going to be going through most of Missouri. Highlights including Joplin, tiny bit of the southeastern corner of Kansas, and then into Oklahoma through Tulsa, and then we'll be landing on the other side of Tulsa. so. Okay, we are going kind of fast for a taxi. Wait. All right. And turn, please. Okay. Pre-flight. Pre-flight, okay. Mixture, full rich, power to 1700, and we're gonna, what this is called, this is warming up the engines, gonna make sure everything, so make sure the engine's functioning normally under different ignition circumstances, and also making sure everything's up to temperature in the engine. All right, voltage green. Okay, check load from pitot heat. Okay, check load from landing lights. Okay. Magneto test. These are this is the ignition system essentially. So most planes have redundant igniters. So we got a right side, left side, and this makes sure that both igniters are working reasonably, and if one fails, I'm not going to fall out of the sky instantly. Okay, power to idle. All right, fuel quantity. Check. GPS set. Transponder to altitude reporting. This is what you use for communicating with other aircraft. Autopilot pre-selected. Pitot heat on. Flaps to takeoff position. Mixture lever full rich. Boost. Okay, fuel pump boosted. Elevator trim at takeoff. Okay. Now, all right, I guess I gotta go. I guess at this airport, I'm gonna have to taxi to the end of the runway and turn around. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, come on. Okay. Boy, this still needs a lot of work in the stability department. Gorgeous game, great functions. Hello, feathers, just in time for takeoff. Starting a little bit early today because I'm supposed to be meeting with my landlord around the time that I would normally be going off the runway, but anyway. So hopefully I can get this wrapped up before that happens. Maybe not. At any rate, how are you doing? All right. Yes, I have tomorrow off as well. All right, and rotate. All right, we're airborne. How about that? Okay, 90. I'm gonna bring flaps up. Yeah, I feel you on the unfinished tasks thing. I'm putting a ton of hours into this flight planning for these excursions, so hope it's appreciated. The game does let you taxi forever without taking off. It's just the taxiing's not very fun. Let's see. Let's bring the power down to there. Taxiing's not very fun, and airplanes are not good at. I guess you could, in theory, drive across the U.S. What's it called? The level of detail wouldn't be that great isn't that great if you just stick to the ground, and you'd probably have to turn. You'd probably have problems with collision, so you'd have to turn that off. But other than that, I don't see why you couldn't drive. Cruising altitude. I'm going to bring the power not that far down. Bring the power down to about here for the first part of the journey. Oh, that's right. I don't need to move this every time I do that because I've got the display here. All right. So we are flying southwest across Missouri to begin this thing. So we are. I guess the immediate area around St. Louis is not considered the Ozarks, but where we are now would be considered the Ozarks. Or where we're getting to now would be considered the Ozarks, and be grateful for it because the flight after this is going to be Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle, so not famous for being scenic. But, you know, that's the next one. Alright, so we are approaching the first point of interest, which is the one and only Merrimack Caverns. Which is, it wouldn't be unfair to call Merrimack Caverns a tourist trap, but there is a, I guess there is a sizable cavern there that you can walk through. It's, compared to some of the other caverns you've been, or some of the other caverns you can go to in the U.S., it's a bit built up. It's got a bunch of hokey stuff. And indeed, but there's also all kinds of fun for the family, as such as you know, zip line, river rafting, mineral panning, etc. So Merrimack Caverns would be somewhere down around there. Alright, an interesting thing is that the higher you fly, the faster the airplane can go. Because, I guess because there's less drag there's less air, so less drag, and the engines get a little bit more fuel efficient to a point. It's more pronounced with turbine-powered aircraft than with gasoline-powered than with piston-engine aircraft. But there's a noticeable effect. We are over the town of Sullivan, which I don't have any notes on, so if you want me to start making things up, I suppose I can, but wouldn't want to be known as a spreader of misinformation. Also, it's very windy in Pittsburgh, PA. So if the mission control goes down, that's the most likely reason why. I'll try to avoid that. I had a little too much going on this week, but starting next week, I'm planning to do this Tuesdays and Thursdays instead of just Thursdays. So heads up for that. There's the town of Bourbon, Missouri, which is in the wrong state, but we'll let him have it, I guess. So for a lot of the coming states, for an awful lot of what's coming up, what was the historic Route 66 has been over paved, or has been paved over by Interstate 44. Hello, GP Veason, how are you doing? Got started a little early, so I apologize for that, but yeah, we're out here. This is a Cirrus SR-22T light aircraft, and so the flight plan for today is to follow the route of historic U.S. Route 66 from starting just west of St. Louis, going through Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anyway, as I was saying, a lot of historic Route 66 has been paved over by Interstate 44. Here and there, it remains as a frontage road, or the old route will go through the main street of a town, and the interstate usually bypasses that. Coming up a little bit later, we'll be getting into more examples of these sorts of places that were like boom towns during the Route 66 era and had to pivot hard in order to not become ghost towns when the interstate was built. I'm not going to say that Cars is among Pixar's best work, but there is a lot of truth in in the story they were telling there. There's a lot of truth in what Radiator Springs is portrayed as. see, do I have any pictures for this? Negatory. Okay, but, well, maybe I can pull something up here. So Cuba is, Cuba, Missouri is known for its roadside murals depicting the history of the city. There's also another one of those 90-ish-year-old roadside motels. This one's called the Wagon Wheel. Again, if you ever end up here in real life, check it out. From the air, there's just not going to be that much to see. But, yeah. Not good. Not trying to suggest the correct way to do Route 66 is in an airplane. It's just what I have available, you know? Let's see if I can just review it up with like anything. Yeah, there's an example. I guess I would certainly prefer driving. Certainly prefer driving the Miata on back roads to the interstate. So I think it would haul at. I think that would be a better way to do it. I think really the correct car, or the thematically correct car to do Route 66 in would be an American car with a V8. But the Miata would be pretty fun still. To the next point of interest, I think. Yeah. Alright, so, you know, just chill, listen to the engines go, ask me anything you want about the road, the airplanes, why the fucking simulator doesn't work very well. How I'm, like, my setup. Alright, come on. All I did was try to zoom in on my fucking map. It'll pick up, it'll get going eventually. There we go. No, I touched it. We're fucked. I tried turning down the graphics a notch since last stream, and this has not improved things any. Speeding up and slowing down as we go, so that's not necessarily too accurate, but 280 nautical miles, which is like 300 real miles. I don't know. So as I explained last time, if there's anybody here who wasn't last time, there, like most light aircraft, the Cirrus SR-22 has a fuel tank in the left wing and a fuel tank in the right wing, and you have to manually switch between the two to keep the airplane balanced as you use the fuel. Keeps you awake, I guess. You don't have to switch them that often. Does it say down here? Okay, it doesn't say, but there's like a certain amount of usually says there's usually a placard somewhere on the aircraft that says the number of gallons of fuel imbalance. Ooh. Number of gallons of fuel imbalance that you're allowed to switch or have. So, like, for instance, this tank can have 9 more gallons than this tank in it before you need to switch, and then some other planes will be like switch it every half hour while you're cruising. Alright, next place we're going over is Rolla, Missouri, which is home to the Missouri University of Science and Technology. Every university has some quirky thing going for it. In the case of Missouri University of Science and Technology, it is a half-scale version of Stonehenge. Let's see if I can pick it out from the air. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Doesn't look that spectacular from the air, but you know, we haulin'. Oh, I closed the wrong thing. Sorry. There's down. Okay. There's downtown Rolla. Must not stop swimming. What's my call sign, Captain? Actually, what did I make my call sign? I just changed it, and I don't remember what it is. Let's see what happens if I call in.
Kansas City Center, Cirrus Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Oh, that's boring.
Is type Cirrus SR-22, 2 miles west of Kilo 07, 2500. Request flight following. Cirrus Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, Kansas City Center. Squawk
And
tree,
now I have to
tree
listen to ATC
27.
for the rest of this. Why did I do this?
Squawk tree 27, Cirrus X-Ray Golf Sierra. Cirrus X-Ray Golf Sierra. Radar contact 3 miles west of Kilo 07.
Well, okay, so I guess right now it's Cirrus X-ray Golf Sierra.
Roger, Cirrus X-ray, Golf Sierra.
what that's worth. I did acknowledge the squawk. See, see my transponder code is 3327 now. All right, not to have a. Okay, we're gonna have a couple of brutal tone shifts here coming up, unfortunately. First of which, Route 66 also parallels, has some unfortunate parallels in history. One of which is the Trail of Tears in the 1830s, when Native Americans were forced out of the southeast U.S. Into what became the state of Oklahoma. Many of them followed a trail known as the Trail of Tears, very similar to what Route 66 ended up being. There is a memorial upcoming. Let's see if I can get a picture of that pulled up here. Yeah, here we go. This is one of several memorials to the Native Americans who were forced to death march across the Ozarks, and many of them died along the way, and many of them died subsequently, and you know, they were forced on reservations where things were kind of shitty. Yeah. We'll see more of that. We'll see more about that when we get to Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm not reading that out. I know what that says, and I'm not reading that out. I'm not Vinny. You can't trick me into doing this.
Golf Sierra. Did you copy?
Oh, shit.
One tree, decimal 8. Cirrus X-ray Golf Sierra.
Aha! There we go. Now I don't have to talk to ATC anymore. That's the real trick. You wait for them to hand you off, and then you don't switch frequencies. Pointed at my head. Is this what we're going to be doing now, huh? I'm out here trying to talk about the Trail of Tears, and you guys are telling me to self-suck on stream. That's against Twitch's TOS, you know? Alright, so we are approaching the hamlet, shall we say, of Uranus, where if you're ever on Route 66 for real, you can test your tolerance for puns. I know certain members of our audience have a very low tolerance for puns, so I'll spare you mostly, but the place to go to is the Uranus General Store and Fudge Factory. I will not be elaborating. Oh god, don't put on the big TV. Well, the autopilot's doing most of the work, but I have been taking off. I have been landing these manually. I was pretty satisfied with how the last landing went. We'll see. This should be an easier. I've set myself up with a much easier airport for this flight than the last one. Again, in this case, like, it's not going to be every stream I do, but in this case, I'm filling more of the tour guide role than I am the pilot role, the hotshot pilot role, I guess. And on that note, we just passed the city of, what was this? St. Robert, I think, which has a Route 66 neon sign museum. I mean, we could... Already by the end of the last flight, I was tired of talking about Route 66 museums, but here we are again. What's coming up from here? I learned the hard way. So I learned the hard way after planning the first leg of this that the flight planning thing kind of freaks out a little bit if you name all of your waypoints, or if you like type out the names of what's underneath all of your waypoints for navigation. So now I have them all numbered, and I have to reference a list instead of having this information like directly in front of me in the simulator, which is annoying. But you know, microslop. Whew. Okay. I wonder if I can get away with... Let me see something here. Units. All right, GP Beeson, what you got for me? Once fall arrives, you should take the flight path of V planes. No. No, we're not doing that. I don't think it would... Okay, I am not going to be flying any airliners into New York. But okay, so one thing, crashing in this game is just not very interesting. Crashing in this game, like, you get a black screen and then it resets you. Yeah, I'm just not doing something in like that taste. 3, if I were to just do like the original flight plans or something like that, it would be not very interesting, I don't think. I don't do a whole lot, and like, I don't have the right kind of airliner, actually. I don't have any 757s in this game. I could fly over the Flight 93 Memorial, which I have been to in real life, is very nice. I've been to the Flight 93 Memorial in real life, and it's very nice. I could see myself doing that. So, Feathers, I am looking for suggestions. Like, I've got... So, after we finish the Route 66 thing, what I'm either going to do next is going to be the Pacific Coast Highway from, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of what is and isn't the Pacific Coast Highway, but basically up the Pacific Coast from San Diego to Olympia. That's option 1. Option 2 is I dive in and start doing, I've got 2 historic flight challenges lined up for myself. First one being the pre-World War I flight across the U.S., and the second one being the 1924 first flight around the world. So those would be after the 2 I have after that. I eventually have a full-ass world tour planned, but that's I want to do some of these other things first. And since it's the like, I'm not necessarily the most patriotic person. I don't think most of my audience is necessarily the most patriotic people, but it is the 250th anniversary of the United States founding, or the United States Declaration of Independence. I figured we'd do some Americana stuff to get us started here. And yeah, Route 66 is pretty fucking, it's about as Americana as you can get. It actually decides to open here. Okay, there we go. Where I have my notes. Alright. So we are approaching Lebanon, Missouri. Lebanon, Missouri is home to the Munger Moss Motel, which has this gorgeous, oh great, where's my thing? Has this gorgeous mid-century neon sign in front of it. And also is home to the Route 66 Museum and Research Center. It will be, again, there's so many of these damn things. But, yeah. So Munger Moss Motel is over there. I'll keep forgetting to hide these images before I do that. It's back there. And somewhere in downtown Lebanon. It's probably pronounced Lebanon and not Lebanon because it's not in fucking Pittsburgh. Let's see. What's coming up here?
Kansas City Center, Airbus November tree, 451 tree, 2,700.
Airbus November tree 451 tree. Kansas City Center, altimeter 2992. Radar contact continue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a Pittsburgh has a neighborhood called Mount Lebanon, not Mount Lebanon, Mount Lebanon. Because Yinzers.
Kansas City Center,
Incidentally, it's one of the bougiest neighborhoods in the city.
3,600 descending 3,000.
ATR November 6 tree 76 Bravo. Kansas City Center.
And I had more to say on this subject, but my train of thought's gone
Radar
out the window.
contact continue.
Okay, let's switch fuel tanks. Alright. Gotta keep an eye on that. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is that coming up, the other thing, like coming up, future plans, etc. So there's a big art update coming up for, I believe it's going to be focused on the national parks, but there is a big art update coming up for the sim on July 4th. So more American stuff to look at. Won't be doing that on July 4th because I'll need time to figure out what's going on. Here's where my train of thought was going originally. So, coming up, we have Phillipsburg, Missouri. I don't have anything interesting to say about Phillipsburg itself, but I was putting, when I have been putting together these flight plans and I've been typing out the names of places and all that, it has gotten to the point where I compulsively put an H at the end of anywhere called Berg, despite the fact that nowhere in America other than Pittsburgh has an H at the end of it. But just because I've lived here for however long, compulsively put an H at the end of Berg. Alright, well, so my understanding is that the H came from, I guess the H came from the Scottish, or like all the Scottish immigrants who came here, because all the place, it should be, although it should be Pittsburgh, technically, if we're gonna have an H at the end of it. But, we're getting over a bit of highland here, so I'm going to pull up a little bit. But anyway, normally on a road trip I would suggest avoiding interstates whenever possible, but off of I-44 near Conway, we have the Conway Rest Area and Welcome Center, which has a bunch of fun little stuff. We got a miniature version of the Munger Motel sign. We got this little miniature diner. We got this guy. I don't know if he has a name, but we can come up with one for him if we want. Whole lot of cute little accoutrements. Alright, that's probably shouldn't be showing somebody's kid on Twitch. But, you know, I blame them for putting it on Google. Go. That is where it is from the air. And okay, there. I brought back the cone homunculus just for you. That's a good. That's a solid pun right there. I applaud. Okay, we're gonna risk. I'm gonna risk fucking with the EFB for a second. I could also switch this to landscape, but if I did that right now, we'd have to wait like 10 minutes for the sim to decide what to do with it. I'll try to remember to do that before the next stream. Bob, did I watch season 2 of the Rules? No, I did not. I'm aware of the Nathan Fielder. I'm aware that Nathan Fielder learned how to fly a whole ass plane for it. That's HBO, right? I don't have. I do not have the HBO. Yeah, I will, find it one way or another, I guess. We'll acquire it one way or another, eventually. I don't think I have any notes on Marshfield. Yeah, it's there. Alright, so quick progress report. We have 243 miles left in the flight plan. We'll call that about an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, on track to be landing right about 9. I'm not sure I would have been able to pick it out of any of the other bits of terrain, but we just passed Northview Hill, which is the highest point on the route so far. Once we get to Texas and New Mexico, there's going to be a lot more out. There's going to be a much more dramatic altitude differences going on. Check fuel. Okay, we're okay. Alright, and now we're approaching the big city in central Missouri, Springfield. Not to be confused with Springfield in any other state. Basically every state has a Springfield. I don't know... don't know I don't think this is the Simpson Springfield. This might be where Homer Sampson lives. I can find out, I guess. Let's see, what do I got? Do I have any good points? What do I have for Springfield? Should have a lot for Springfield, actually. It's actually worth talking about. some sort of athletic center here. Alright, so downtown Springfield includes the Route 66 Springfield Visitor Center. There we go again. Birthplace of Route 66 Park. Also has a festival named after Route 66. Go figure. We have the main square coming up down here in downtown. Really get the Springfield experience. I don't know if this is the one with the Simpsons Museum. I don't think Missouri is the one that Groening had in mind. It's a museum in Springfield. So somewhere down here, around about here, we have the original, the one and only Red's Giant Hamburg. Note the lack of The sign was not big enough to include Hamburg This was built right around the end of World War II. Not still open, but, you know, such is life. Yeah, we got some zigzags coming up. So northwest of downtown Springfield is the Fantastic Caverns. That's another tourist trap. Let me see if this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, so this one sounds like a real proper tourist trap to me. It's got all the billboards and stuff, but what's notable about Fantastic Caverns is that the tours are done in Jeep-driven trailers, which, well, I guess you could do that. Alright, and coming up to the southwest of Springfield, Missouri, we have the site of the Battle of Wilson's Creek, which was one of the first battles among the very first battles in the Western Front of the Civil War. Was fought between Generals Nathan Lyon on the U.S. side and Sterling Price on the Confederate side. Was a stalemate for most of the day until I believe Lyon was killed in the afternoon. And the Union eventually ended up retreating back to Springfield. It was an ostensible Confederate victory, but it didn't end up affecting much of the general trajectory of the war. historic battlefield is coming up ahead of us. So around about this area is where this was fought. Yeah. Oh, I don't think I said August 10th, 1861. So very early in the war. Getting back on track a little bit. Yeah, you know, I'm on a day-to-day basis. I would say I am grateful that I am not being shot at and have air conditioning, which are both things they didn't have in the Civil War. So yeah, or the average Civil War soldier did not have. So yeah. And frankly, if you buzz them in one of these, if you buzz any average Civil War soldier in one of these things, they're going to shit their pants. Yep, hanging out with the boys, no ball and chain, no wife telling me not to. No wife telling me not to get naked and wrestle with my friends. Oh god, dysentery. I've never had dysentery, but I have had acute food poisoning, and I assume that's roughly what dysentery feels like, and yeah, don't want it. Did I change the fuel? No, I didn't. There we go. I am not clicking that. I'm not clicking that on stream. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say, hey, Pops. What I am gonna show you instead is the 90-year-old ready for this. Get ready for this mouthful. Gary's Gay Parita St Clair Station. Charming little place. Again, hell of a mouthful of a name. Also, I've never been to a I might have been to a Sinclair at some point in my life, but I got the dinosaur. They got the little dinosaur guy. I like the dinosaur guy. Past that, we got another surviving 1930s filler station. This one just called Spencer's, or Spencer. Look how charming gas stations used to be back when they weren't corporate. Oh, look at the inside. Also a surviving 100-year-old bridge, which, I live in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to say it's sketchy. I live in Pittsburgh and I drive on the Liberty Bridge regularly. I'm not going to say this looks sketchy. Yes, that website's great. The bridge is just called, like, Spencer, let me see what the name of the creek is. Yeah, I don't know, Spencer, Missouri, something. Johnson Creek. Albatross. Have any further comment on Albatross? Okay. Look up the information on this one. little bit past the halfway point of this. So hang tight there. Hang tight there. This is the point in the. Well, we don't have no bathroom back here, but you know, anybody needs me to pass the pee bottle around, this is the time, and I always offer. This is the time when we offer. What are we estimating on arrival? Yeah, right about 9. Right about 9 Eastern. Do I have to next be? Okay, I'll save that for another. I'll save this for another time. Yeah, we're getting out of the. We are. I think it's safe to say we're out of the Ozarks now and getting into the plains, and it's going to look like this for a while, I'm afraid. Fortunately, I have some noteworthy things coming up, but it's just a little bit longer before we get there. God, I go 20 miles without anything to say and talking about dying of boredom. Maybe this Twitch thing is harder than I thought. No, I don't know about the people on the Oregon Trail, but, well, among other things, the Oregon Trail is farther north, a bit farther north from here, but, I mean, like I talked about earlier, this is kind of where the Trail of Tears went, so, you know, I'm not saying Andrew Jackson wanted the Native Americans to die of boredom, but if he had wanted to, he could have done a lot worse. Alright, I guess this is a good time as any to talk about the next thing. So coming up, we have Carthage, Missouri. There was a... Calling it a battle is maybe a little bit of a... Calling it a battle is maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but then early on, there was an early engagement in the Civil War happened just to the north of what was then the city of Carthage, Missouri. It was essentially against it was the Missouri State Confederate Guard versus a brigade of mostly volunteers on the Union side. Confederates routed the Union soldiers, and the town of Carthage was largely razed in the aftermath. This was July 5th, 1861. See, on a lighter note, just on the west side of Carthage, we have another classic drive-in theater. Here we have a classic drive-in theater which has been standing since 1949. Still maintains its original Art Deco detailing, and on the day this picture was taken, they were showing Shrek, which, yeah. No complaints here. Alright, coming right up we have Carterville, which is home to the Super Tam Ice Cream Parlor and Superman Museum. What more could you ask for? And the day that they shot this, there was a Chevy Bel Air parked in front. Web City itself, coming right up here. Yeah. So we're getting into a part of the city that has originally, or part of the country that originally in the first half of the 20th century came into a whole lot of wealth from mineral and metal mining. So we got a lot of minerals, a lot of zinc and lead mining, and coming further up, we get to see the scars of all of that. But before we get to that, before we get to the real ugly stuff. We're gonna fly through Joplin, Kansas. Joplin, Kansas. We're not in Kansas yet. Joplin, Missouri. Which, among other things, it was one of the places that, I guess their biggest claim to fame during the Route 66 era in particular was that Bonnie and Clyde hung out here for a while and were eventually tracked down by the police, and there was a big shootout. Not the shootout, not like the one that they were killed at, but there was a big shootout that happened between them and the police just west of town. Also, yeah, Bonnie and Clyde, great fucking movie. Not necessarily the most reflective of what they were like, but great movie. Somewhere around here, we have a Joplin History and Mineral Museum. So there we go. Alright, and I think we are just about to cross the state line. We are finally, after having spent the entirety of this flight so far in Missouri, we are now in Kansas. And yeah, some of this crap down here, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the lead mining that happened in the area. First stop along the way is Galena, Kansas. Galena named after the lead ore that was mined in the area. Galena's biggest claim to fame is that outside a random service station in Galena is where supposedly the actual original tow mater was found. Or a rusted pickup truck that was the inspiration for the one and only car's mater. Hi, McDonald Rick. I will check you out later. I'm in the middle of a little much too... I'm not on Discord at the moment because I've just got a little bit too much going on, but I will check you out later, and I appreciate you helping in if that's what you're going to do. What am I looking for here? Okay, next up is Riverton, Kansas. Riverton, Kansas is home to... Is it this one? Yeah. Old Riverton store. Which dates back to 1925, so this is over 100 years old now. Springs coming up. Oh, we just passed over the location of the Rainbow Creek Bridge, which was built in 1923. This was sort of a prefabricated thing. There were a bunch of other ones very much like this, but this is one of the only ones that still survives to this day, 103 years later. And then also in Baxter Springs, we have yet another visitor center for Route 66. Well, Feathers, to be fair, that is the only 66 visitor center I know of in Kansas, because we're almost... There's very... Kansas portion of Route 66 only lasts 13 miles. And once we cross this road here, with apologies to Feathers, I can authoritatively say we're not in Kansas anymore. We are now in Oklahoma. In particular, this portion of Oklahoma is part of the Quapaw Nation. Apologies in advance for me fucking up any of these First Nations names. As you presumably learned at some point in your history class, Oklahoma is where most of the Native Americans ended up after the Trail of Tears, and then of course, they got different cities, and they got shoved to the wayside as oil and minerals, other natural resources were discovered here. But I mean, the land is pretty desolate. Here's more of these examples of just big piles of dirt and industrial shit left over from the lead mining. Okay, we have about a little over 100 miles to go. Okay, Miami, Oklahoma, named after another one of the First Nation tribes. And our cute roadside attraction, a cute roadside point of interest for Miami is this marathon gas station, designed in the form of a Greek revival temple. See, again, gas stations used to be better before. They just all were like standard corporate, what have you. Down with postmodern architecture, I say. Actually, there's somebody parked up my street who has a bumper sticker that says, "That's not very mid-century modern of you," and I want to hug them. But anywho. About here, and I think it's around about here. There are a couple miles of 1930s pavement still standing around here, which just haven't seen enough use to need to be repaired. Built to the original specifications, the Route 66 was built to, at least the state of Oklahoma built their section of Route 66 to, which was a 9-foot wide concrete pad. Very primitive by modern standards, very narrow by modern standards, but if you want to see what it was like, this is it. Or if you're there and you want to see what it was like, this is it. Got a little ways to the next thing. Oh, shit. That's the wrong lever. Well, I appreciate the compliment, GPV. I will say I did a lot of research, and I have did a lot of research before doing this. I cooked up the flight plan. I originally downloaded somebody else's Route 66 flight plan, and then decided I wanted to redo it myself, so I'd have notes for where everything was, and I've got a thing in front of me. I don't know why the planes decided to zigzag, but okay. But yeah, that's what I mean, that's all I can hope for, really, is to try to entertain and maybe spread a few facts. facts of which I don't have a whole lot coming up for a little bit here. What is this to the south? Okay, to the south here you can see what the map says is the Grand Lake O' the Cherokees. Very well, we're in the middle of the country now, so I'm not surprised that's what it's called. It's a reservoir formed by damming the Grand River. I got nothing. We're north of the Cherokee Nation right now. I believe where we are flying right now is part of the Delaware Nation. How much of it's still owned by any of them, I can't say. As you may have gathered, we're approaching this part of Oklahoma. There's just not enough to talk about, but we're approaching Veneta, Oklahoma, just one of the more sizable towns in the area. We have the roadside attraction of choice for Veneta is Clanton's Cafe, which is, as of this year, 99 years old. The travel guide I looked up recommended the chicken fried steaks, but said unless you be aware that calf fries are a euphemism for Rocky Mountain oysters. So yeah, just if you end up in Oklahoma, know what you're getting into. seemingly a little turbulent here. Interesting. Okay, so coming up, we have Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, should be okay, just prior to Chelsea, and I'm not initially intended anyway, is Prior Creek, and over Prior Creek is a bridge that is another historic landmark. This one built in 1925, which is actually a year before Route 66 was founded or was established, so this must have been an existing surface road of some sort. Let's see. So if I can pick it out from here. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's not very. Yeah, that one's not very. That's not a very faithful model. Yeah, you win some. You build the entire Earth in this thing, and I guess you have to take some shortcuts. Okay, so next town coming up is Foyle, Oklahoma. Foyle is the home of one Andy Payne, Cherokee native, entered the first transcontinental foot race in 1928. Andy Payne was the winner of the race, finished in a time of 573 hours across the 3,000-mile route. And there is a statue in his honor in Foyle. And on top of that, here's some more original 1920s Route 66 pavement. This part right here. There he is. There he is running along. Okay. Coming up next, we have Claremore, Oklahoma. Claremore is home to two of Oklahoma's most famous native sons. The first of which So the first of which is one Lynn Riggs, a Cherokee playwright from the first half of the 20th century, incidentally gay, which I don't know if that probably wasn't an easy thing to be in the first half of the 20th century. Most famous work by Lynn Riggs was one Green Grow the Lilacs, which, if you know your Broadway history, Rodgers and Hammerstein made that into Oklahoma. So the writer of that is from Claremore, and there is the Claremore Museum of History, which is in downtown, has some of his artifacts alongside. Claremore is not the birthplace, but it is the final resting place of the other, one of Montana's other most famous native sons, vaudeville entertainer Will Rogers. Big deal in the 20s and 30s. And there is a memorial for Will Rogers up here. And also a aerodrome named after Will Rogers and Wiley Post, who died together in a plane crash in Alaska in the 40s, I think. Will Rogers, on top of being a famous comedian, vaudeville entertainer, actor, etc., was an aviation enthusiast during the pioneer era. Holds true even to this day. see. Okay, no, Street View's not the way to go here. Alright, coming up in just a little bit. First we have verdigris. Actually speed up a little bit here. Okay, coming up, we have Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa's claim to fame is a swimming hole built by Hugh Davis right off the side of Route 66, and Hugh Davis built alongside the swimming hole this delightful guy, Blue Whale of Catoosa. Oh, wow! You can actually just make out the Blue Whale from the air. Sorry I didn't cut away sooner. Alright. Well. Oh yeah, it's got a fishtail and not a whale tail. Oh well. You know. Can't have everything. Alright, so we are approaching Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is the final major point of interest on this trip, and I'm gonna close the tablet once the simulator wakes up. All right, it's gonna need to start doing landing prep once we get through Tulsa. But first, let's talk a little bit about Tulsa. Tulsa was part of the Native American territories. Yeah. So yeah, real quick, GPV. So what this is the map is based on satellite imagery from Bing, because Microsoft, and then it uses algorithms to place terrain, or to place like trees and stuff and buildings, and then some places, major cities, landmarks, etc., will have hand-drawn art for them. So basically the whole world's in here, but what level of fidelity and it is in depends on where you are. It would be very cool, like, I mean, the technology is only ever going to get better. I guess we're probably at a plateau right now with AI, with the whole AI thing, but yeah. It is really neat that we've got this technology. as much as I complain about other parts of the game, it's flight. I mean, I can do flight seeing because of this. Anyway, so Tulsa, Oklahoma, originally part of the Native American territories, became a boom town in the early 20th century when oil was discovered in nearby Osage County. A lot of the I think this was originally part of the Osage Nation, although a lot of them got pushed out as people moved in during the oil boom. I could be wrong about which nation it was. AI. Anyway, so let's see what all we got. What all we got here in Tulsa? So our first stop. Okay, this organization could be better. Ah, there we are. So the first thing along the way that we're going to stop by is the Meadow Gold District, which is, oh yeah, I gotta pull that up. Named after a brand of milk. Was a bit of a Route 66 icon. Where's the... Alright, nearby. If you were here last week, you'll remember the Gemini Giant. Well, I've got another one of these, another one of our big ol' fiberglass friends. And also, still had him. The female counterpart. Both here. To the north of downtown, we have the... So north of downtown... Is it the Greenwood District? To north of downtown, we have the Greenwood District, which was a historically black-owned, or like a historically black-dominated district. In 1930... shit. In 1921, there was a major race riot that destroyed much of the Tulsa's Greenwood District, unfortunately, and the result of that is that it's never really been the same since then. If you've seen Watchmen, the Watchmen TV show goes into some of the history about that. So I've got to. Okay, so on the south or on the west bank of the Arkansas River that we're crossing right now is a Route 66 neon sign park. Unfortunately, I got to start doing descent prep here. So, okay, boost, select your fullest, landing lights on. Let's bring the speed down. Mix up. So yeah, so we're getting ready for landing now. Flaps 10, flaps 50. Where is the runway I need? Full. 192. Yeah. Oh. Do you hate it when you're landing a plane and somebody knocks on the door? Alright, I'm too high. And there's a crosswind. Lovely. Okay.
500. Stall.
Whoa!
Stall.
Oh no, 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 no.
Stall.
No, 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 no.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
Well, sorry about that. Alright, where the hell am I? Okay, there we go. Okay. That's where the field is. Alright. Well, the plane seemed to have run out of speed very quickly, and why was the autopilot on? Did not want the autopilot on. Alright.
Stall.
I shouldn't be stuck. Why is it-
Stall. Stall.
Okay. I must have hit like an air pocket over the, or like some sort of air pocket over the river. Alright, we're gonna try this again. Flaps 50. It's gonna be very embarrassing if this happens twice. Alright, flaps full. I'm too high again, but at least this way I know I'm not gonna stall. That was rude. That was very rude. Alright. I thought this was gonna be easy.
500.
Okay. And that is more like it. Butter. Alright. Much more like it. Okay. Now, flaps up. Landing lights off. Off. You see, that's what I thought was going to happen the first time, but lo and behold, yeah, before you make fun of me, yes, I use pilot vision to tell me how to taxi, because I don't like getting lost on runways. I don't like getting lost in airports. It's embarrassing. It's bad for everybody. Fuel pump off. Okay, landing lights off. Fuel pump off. Oxygen off. Power lever off. Mixture cut off. Transponder off. External lights off. Avionics off. Alternator off. Ignition off. Battery. All right. And now I can say hi to the ramp worker. You know, give him a hug for helping me get down. Maybe walk through him. QX files Steam. I don't have it ready. He's just gonna stay like that now, I guess. Can I walk through the plane? No. Okay, the plane. Okay, so planes material, ramp workers immaterial. Let's write that down. All right. So yeah, so that was part 2 of the trip. So next week, so next Tuesday at 7, we'll be doing the next section of this. It's going to be Tulsa through Oklahoma City to Amarillo, Texas. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about cows and other things, and this is probably going to be fair warning. This is probably going to be the most boring section of it coming up, because it's Oklahoma and Texas, not famous for terrain or anything. Yeah. So I hope you guys had a good time. We will be seeing you soon. And here's some public domain. Here's a public domain recording of Rhapsody of Blue to see you off. Have a good weekend. See you next week. I fucked up my scenes, so I don't remember where the correct one is. I don't remember my... Alright, whatever. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.